What's up guys, it's Endymion, and today I have a Mass Effect video and theory that is going to be very divisive for sure, but that's what I love about it. I love talking about things that can sway someone's opinion in one way or another. Today I want to talk about the aftermath of the battle that decided the fate of the galaxy within Mass Effect and how the Reaper threat could live on in a way. So let's begin. So as we all know, in the ending of Mass Effect's Destroy ending that seems to be based on the new teaser to be considered the canon ending, long story short, Shepard uses the Crucible to systematically shut down all artificial intelligence in the galaxy, essentially a galaxy-wide EMP that single-handedly wipes out all the Reapers along with EDI and the Geth and the mass relays. And probably computers and your iPhone or Android, I don't care what kind of phone you use. However, of course, this shutdown could be temporary, as in, yes, the Reapers are dead, or as dead as a robot can be, but the other things that got EMP'd, like the Geth, EDI, or say your TV, could obviously be fixed once it's been serviced. Clearly, owning a repair shop for electronics would instantly make you a billionaire in a post-Reaper world, wouldn't it? Imagine all the work you would get. Anyways, with this huge explosion, the galaxy is largely left in shambles, but we see in the new teaser that Liara is clearly capable of flying a spaceship into a planet where she may supposedly be meeting inhabitants from Andromeda. Of course, that is pure speculation, since we don't know for sure. But this obviously confirms that space travel and generally speaking technology has been largely repaired and become functional again by the time this teaser rolls around. Now the theory I have is that while the defeated shutdown of the main Reapers is apparently absolute, what would happen to the remaining Reaper forces out there amongst the myriad of planets? I mean the ground units, or per se, the organics that were in mid-process in some Reaper indoctrination facility when Shepard flipped the switch and fried all the machines. Where would those forces go? Could they live on? Or are they all too instantly fried with no hope for salvation? That's where this theory stems from, and the idea of a shunned subsection of Reaper-infused organics trying to cope with their own existence in a post-Reaper war. I imagine it like there being small groups of humans or Asaris or what have you who weren't fully indoctrinated or upgraded by the Reapers, becoming suddenly free of their masters and having to wake up to the realization of the horrors they were forced to do and having to live in the new bodies they now inhabit. Of course, most of these forces would undoubtedly become obsolete. I'm sure large sections of the Reaper forces would be systematically vaporized or become non-functional once Shepard turned on the Crucible. But it's fun to imagine that somewhere out there on some dusty, forgotten planet is a small community of humans or Solarians who have Reaper-infused arms or a leg or eyes or something, and they are just living in the shadows of the galaxy away from any eyes so they can live peacefully without the obvious pushback that would come if these Reaper-infused citizens were discovered by, say, a council convoy or a Spectre. It could make a really interesting story idea or quest where the player encounters these, well, we need a name for these people. Reaper infused doesn't sound good. Reaper drones? No. I got it. I'm calling these people the Harvested, because they were harvested by the Reapers to enact their galaxy-wide harvest of life. Is it a stupid name? It is, isn't it? It doesn't matter. We're moving on. They're called the Harvested. Now deal with it. And having us as players encounter the Harvested and sympathizing with them as they come to terms with the atrocities and acts of violence they were forced to act upon due to their indoctrination by the Reapers, and how they don't wish for battle or death, but they just simply want to be left alone to live in peace so they can at least have some sort of life, even if it's, nowhere close to the lives they had before becoming the Harvested. Obviously, this story idea would hinge on the absolute power of the Crucible, and if the Crucible was indeed so powerful that it perfectly wiped out every single Reaper-infused thing in the entire galaxy. But I'd like to think that once the Crucible's power reached the furthest star systems from Earth, the sheer magnitude and efficiency of the Crucible would lessen to the point where only the main Reapers, as in the actual literal ships, got iced but not necessarily all the forces on every planet and every system perfectly. But the tantalizing part of this is that in the destroy ending, of course, if you have enough war assets and such, it's shown that Shepard can survive the Crucible and all that. But by the destroy ending's parameters, all synthetic life is dead. So what about organics that are part synthetic or rely on synthetic parts in order to live? I mean, Shepard gets rebuilt RoboCop style in the beginning of Mass Effect 2, and if you are Renegade, Shepard literally starts looking like a Terminator 2. But they can survive the detonation and the Crucible's sheer power that close to where it detonated, even though Shepard is, by definition, basically a cyborg and is largely part synthetic themselves due to the Lazarus Project. So, is it so hard to think that some of the Reaper's organic, synthetic, infused forces, or the Harvested as I call them, could have survived and lived on? Obviously, any Harvested that had their literal brain full of synthetic parts is probably not going to be hanging around for afternoon tea, but the Harvested that have Reaper infused arms, legs, maybe part of their face or something, could they have lived on? I think it would be interesting. Obviously, this theory and story idea could wildly differ based on the actual rules and parameters BioWare has come to in the years since Mass Effect 3 and the current development of the sequel. But I just find the idea of literal war machines forced to commit genocide, being freed from their pain, coming to the realization of what they've done, and trying to live past a truly traumatic experience like that to be really interesting and captivating from a writing standpoint. And you as the player could obviously decide if you give their location to the authorities and get them all arrested, or agree to let them live in secret as long as they don't hurt anyone. Even a Harvested crewmate would be really interesting, like a human who is largely synthetic and was forced to kill hundreds of their own people due to the indoctrination, now coming to terms with the fact that they will have to live with the thought that they slaughtered innocent children against their will and wanting to repent for what the Reapers made them do. But I mean, ultimately, if Shepard is able to live even while they are stuffed with synthetic parts, then the possibility that the Crucible missed at least a few Harvested units is not exactly too far-fetched, right? Because we don't have absolute confirmation that every single Reaper enemy was wiped out. Ship-wise, sure, I guess. But I'm sure there's a cannibal unit or Marauder shields still kicking it somewhere in some bar, just having nightmares every night about what they did. So that's the theory idea. I like the idea of evil things coming to terms with what they've done and seeing how they can help the world before they too die. I think it's compelling. Of course, BioWare could just say nope and confirm everything was wiped clean, nice and easy, and that's it. And that's fine. But just the survivors of a war having to live with the horrors they endured, I think the story about the soldiers who were ordered to act upon those horrors or face death themselves could be equally as interesting. So that's the theory, guys. Let me know in the comments. Like I said, it could be divisive. Some people could immediately dismay this and say, nope, all Reaper stuff is dead, but who knows, right? I mean, if things like the Leviathan of Dis was left largely undiscovered for so long, there's gotta be tons of ancient or weird things that are also just chilling in wait for players to find. And I'm sure some of these Reaper units, the Harvested, are somewhere playing Scrabble or whatever. Like they're alive somewhere. It would be cool to see. Thanks for watching. I'm ENDYMION. Please like and subscribe if you like what you've seen, and I have plenty more Mass Effect content on the channel. And let me know of any topics you'd like me to talk about. And with that, I'm gonna go back to playing video games. Enjoy your day. See ya.